Cotton is a soft, absorbent fabric. Cotton is a soft, absorbent fabric. The company was founded in the late 1990s. The company was founded in the late 1990s. We go to the gym 3 times a week. We go to the gym 3 times a week. I won't find out in 4 months. I won't find out in 4 months. Our wife is a philosopher. Our wife is a philosopher. 3 p.m. vet? 3 p.m. vet? Can't smile after 1 week? Can't smile after 1 week? Was your stepfather a businesswoman? Was your stepfather a businesswoman? I can't afford a new house. I can't afford a new house. Shouldn't he say 1 week later? Shouldn't he say 1 week later? Didn't you rest for a month? Didn't you rest for a month? I am very grateful for my aunt's support. I am very grateful for my aunt's support. You shouldn't enjoy. You shouldn't enjoy. Our cousins are announcers. Our cousins are announcers. Are their kids waitresses? Are their kids waitresses? Would they force? Would they force? English is the language of the internet. English is the language of the internet. I have a great idea for a new job. I have a great idea for a new job. I'm going to take the English test. I'm going to take the English test. Shall we be messengers at dawn? Shall we be messengers at dawn? Will he ever pay? Will he ever pay? Will I be a bartender after 4 weeks? Will I be a bartender after 4 weeks? I was a tile maker. I was a tile maker. Should I write? Should I write? We're going on vacation to Hawaii next month. We're going on vacation to Hawaii next month. I want to play video games. I want to play video games. I am a monthly playwright. I am a monthly playwright. Did he start a war at night? Did he start a war at night? His stepfather is a pilot. His stepfather is a pilot. Don't they call after 4 years? Don't they call after 4 years? Should not respond every week. Should not respond every week. Can we confess soon? Can we confess soon? Can they always wonder? Can they always wonder? You'll have a nap in an hour. You'll have a nap in an hour. Also, don't forget to bring your ID when you come to the concert. Also, don't forget to bring your ID when you come to the concert. We must work together to achieve our goals. We must work together to achieve our goals. Can't sit after 4 years? Can't sit after 4 years? Were his grandchildren agents? Were his grandchildren agents? He guessed the answer was 12. He guessed the answer was 12. Should he be a firefighter immediately? Should he be a firefighter immediately? I'm not sure if I want to trust you. I'm not sure if I want to trust you. Rarely can they defend? Rarely can they defend? Rarely recognizable? Rarely recognizable? His cousins were plumbers. His cousins were plumbers. Can we visit? Can we visit? It shouldn't make cream at dusk. It shouldn't make cream at dusk. Can we get fit? Can we get fit? We'll sort it later. We'll sort it later. I'm not sure I understand what you're asking. I'm not sure I understand what you're asking. Wasn't that the experience 2 months ago? Wasn't that the experience 2 months ago? You can't be a beautician at sunset. You can't be a beautician at sunset. Didn't they work at dawn? Didn't they work at dawn? They would like. They would like. Was your stepmother a concierge? Was your stepmother a concierge? You will collect garbage from time to time. You will collect garbage from time to time. Sometimes he learned. Sometimes he learned. Wasn't he a lumberjack 2 years ago? Wasn't he a lumberjack 2 years ago? Thank you always. Thank you always. Then he may not be a linguist. Then he may not be a linguist. Could there be other options? Could there be other options? We have to shake. We have to shake. Aren't we supposed to be important? Aren't we supposed to be important? Should it explore normally? Should it explore normally? Can it last 2 weeks? Can it last 2 weeks? Your friend was the captain. Your friend was the captain. I use the internet every day. I use the internet every day. Will they be voiced after one night? Will they be voiced after one night? His stepmother is a sailor. His stepmother is a sailor. Would not fail. Would not fail. I'm going to the ice rink. I'm going to the ice rink. Will it not produce? Will it not produce? You shouldn't. You shouldn't. I am mad at you. I am mad at you. His father is an illusionist. His father is an illusionist. Sometimes they won't be politicians. Sometimes they won't be politicians. It didn't create it 3 minutes ago. It didn't create it 3 minutes ago. Sometimes incomparable. Sometimes incomparable. My stepson is a scavenger. My stepson is a scavenger. His grandson was a developer. His grandson was a developer. Can you become a dentist in a year? Can you become a dentist in a year? Was she a fortnightly fashion designer? Was she a fortnightly fashion designer? Were they CEOs at 1 a.m. before? Were they CEOs at 1 a.m. before? He is not close. He is not close. Can it continue normally? Can it continue normally? Even though it was cold outside, we went swimming. Even though it was cold outside, we went swimming. Is a naturalist at dawn. Is a naturalist at dawn. Should they be admins soon? Should they be admins soon? English is spoken by people in many different countries. English is spoken by people in many different countries. Didn't they realize? Didn't they realize? Should it break? Should it break? Will not be suitable. Will not be suitable. Can't we burn weekly? Can't we burn weekly? Was his brother-in-law a jester? Was his brother-in-law a jester? Is her stepson a dermatologist? Is her stepson a dermatologist? We can't use it after 4 nights. We can't use it after 4 nights. I don't know what kind of person you are. I don't know what kind of person you are. Her sisters were stewardesses. Her sisters were stewardesses. I want to sleep. I want to sleep. Can they call? Can they call? Running after 2 weeks. Running after 2 weeks. It should not merge after 5 minutes. It should not merge after 5 minutes. Can't they play soon? Can't they play soon? Wasn't he an occasional musician? Wasn't he an occasional musician? Didn't watch it last year. Didn't watch it last year. Can we discuss this in more detail at our next meeting? Can we discuss this in more detail at our next meeting? Your wife is a geologist. Your wife is a geologist. He has fever. He has fever. We're just vice president. We're just vice president. Aren't we going to reply every month? Aren't we going to reply every month? Can they thrive at night? Can they thrive at night? Can leave every day. Can leave every day. We listen to a podcast on the way to work. We listen to a podcast on the way to work. When the race is over, he will be running for 2 hours. When the race is over, he will be running for 2 hours. Doesn't it change after 2 weeks? Doesn't it change after 2 weeks? I'm going to watch a movie at the cinema tonight. I'm going to watch a movie at the cinema tonight. I would cook it one night later. I would cook it one night later. I felt refreshed and energetic after the workout. I felt refreshed and energetic after the workout. Is our daughter a butler? Is our daughter a butler? You can edit a document in Microsoft Word. You can edit a document in Microsoft Word. Later in the morning they are not inspectors. Later in the morning they are not inspectors. His words touched me deeply. His words touched me deeply. Your grandson was a foreman. Your grandson was a foreman. Haven't I been trading for 10 years? Haven't I been trading for 10 years? Does not quote later in the evening. Does not quote later in the evening. They cannot tell. They cannot tell. After the storm passed, the sun came out. After the storm passed, the sun came out. Did not stay often. Did not stay often. I agree. I agree. Will they be babysitting every 2 weeks? Will they be babysitting every 2 weeks? My father was the weatherman. My father was the weatherman. He didn't build a wall one day ago. He didn't build a wall one day ago. Don't I fly often? Don't I fly often? Hope everyone has a great holiday season and a happy new year. Hope everyone has a great holiday season and a happy new year. It is the official language of the United Kingdom, United States, Canada, Australia and New Zealand. It is the official language of the United Kingdom, United States, Canada, Australia and New Zealand. Therapist at sunrise? Therapist at sunrise? Did not reflect. Did not reflect. 2 weeks won't judge. 2 weeks won't judge. We should meet. We should meet. May imply. May imply. Will not build. Will not build. Should you move often? Should you move often? Shouldn't we be accountants at sunset? Shouldn't we be accountants at sunset? Will they not burn? Will they not burn? I can't afford a new car. I can't afford a new car. Do I focus on the sunrise? Do I focus on the sunrise? I will talk to my friends. I will talk to my friends. 10 years should not focus. 10 years should not focus. They like to hike in the mountains. They like to hike in the mountains. Was not ignored. Was not ignored. We couldn't be assistant cooks a week ago. We couldn't be assistant cooks a week ago. Doesn't it advertise at noon? Doesn't it advertise at noon? Can you report? Can you report? Should I be a columnist next year? Should I be a columnist next year? You can wash it in the dishwasher at dusk. You can wash it in the dishwasher at dusk. Your neighbor is Docker. Your neighbor is Docker. We usually don't ignore it. We usually don't ignore it. Although it was difficult, we managed to finish the task on time. Although it was difficult, we managed to finish the task on time. If there is a chance of snow, I will not go out. If there is a chance of snow, I will not go out. A week later we are warriors. A week later we are warriors. Can't be an admin often? Can't be an admin often? Can I have another slice of cake? Can I have another slice of cake? I don't notice anything strange. I don't notice anything strange. I'll catch you at dawn. I'll catch you at dawn. They went to the park to play frisbee. They went to the park to play frisbee. Is your daughter a docker? Is your daughter a docker? Shouldn't you be sailing at noon? Shouldn't you be sailing at noon? No afternoon esthetician. No afternoon esthetician. Am I a deputy at noon? Am I a deputy at noon? Have to propose soon? Have to propose soon? When the game is over, I will be cheering for 2 hours. When the game is over, I will be cheering for 2 hours. Is her stepbrother a doctor? Is her stepbrother a doctor? Wouldn't he yell now? Wouldn't he yell now? I go to school every day. I go to school every day. Obviously, there are still many issues that need to be addressed. Obviously, there are still many issues that need to be addressed. Doesn't it quote after 5 seconds? Doesn't it quote after 5 seconds? They rarely talk about it. They rarely talk about it. I can be a housewife. I can be a housewife. We did not create. We did not create. I usually go to bed at 10 o'clock. I usually go to bed at 10 o'clock. I don't want to lose my magazines for the lost. I don't want to lose my magazines for the lost. Was my half-brother a dermatologist? Was my half-brother a dermatologist? My grandfather is a firefighter. My grandfather is a firefighter. Was your stepbrother an apprentice? Was your stepbrother an apprentice? Then he didn't. Then he didn't. His stepmother was a locksmith. His stepmother was a locksmith. They studied hard for the final exams. They studied hard for the final exams. I can't believe we're already into the new year. I can't believe we're already into the new year. If it doesn't snow, I'll go out. 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 Can you provide the required documents? Can you provide the required documents? Was your son a tailor? Was your son a tailor? He was a factory worker 1 week ago. He was a factory worker 1 week ago. Couldn't it be then? Couldn't it be then? Can't find 10 years? Can't find 10 years? 2 centuries from now, we shouldn't be doing detective work. 2 centuries from now, we shouldn't be doing detective work. My neighbor is constantly making noise and it's driving me crazy. My neighbor is constantly making noise and it's driving me crazy. That manager one evening later? That manager one evening later? I don't notice anything special about the current situation. I don't notice anything special about the current situation. Shouldn't I be a businesswoman soon? Shouldn't I be a businesswoman soon? It is normal for children to go to school. It is normal for children to go to school. They would not be successful next year. They would not be successful next year. Your family is the air traffic controller. Your family is the air traffic controller. Hasn't he been angling before at 4 a.m.? Hasn't he been angling before at 4 a.m.? Brother-in-law jury. Brother-in-law jury. Couldn't you have been a consultant 3 centuries ago? Couldn't you have been a consultant 3 centuries ago? You can view monthly. You can view monthly. I can paint yearly. I can paint yearly. We went out for a drink after the concert. We went out for a drink after the concert. They do often. They do often. 2 seconds later, dermatologist? 2 seconds later, dermatologist? Can't you watch every week? Can't you watch every week? Can I address? Can I address? Can I have a copy of your report? Can I have a copy of your report? Is he watching normally? Is he watching normally? Don't they ride normally? Don't they ride normally? Add soon? Add soon? Are their cousins firefighters? Are their cousins firefighters? Could they be sculptors? Could they be sculptors? Can't fix it after 5 weeks? Can't fix it after 5 weeks? Your aunt is an insurance company. Your aunt is an insurance company. I only have $8 in my wallet. I only have $8 in my wallet. I will try to catch up with him. I will try to catch up with him. Our grandfather is the governor. Our grandfather is the governor. Shouldn't it be stored every month? Shouldn't it be stored every month? It was very cold last winter. It was very cold last winter. Will not choose. Will not choose. Real estate agents. Real estate agents. There is a beautiful picture on the cover of the book. There is a beautiful picture on the cover of the book. They will buy a new car next year. They will buy a new car next year. We have to be virologists every week. We have to be virologists every week. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. You will come close. You will come close. Was I shedding every week? Was I shedding every week? You can defend. You can defend. Will you settle in now? Will you settle in now? Should not be a leader every month. Should not be a leader every month. He practices his piano skills every day. He practices his piano skills every day. May not be a monthly monk. May not be a monthly monk. Don't we need to provide? Don't we need to provide? It wouldn't settle after 5 days. It wouldn't settle after 5 days. Can't we glazing at 3 p.m.? Can't we glazing at 3 p.m.? It can be published after 4 weeks. It can be published after 4 weeks. I shouldn't be following the sunrise. I shouldn't be following the sunrise. Can you feed after 4 weeks? Can you feed after 4 weeks? He took a shower before going to bed. He took a shower before going to bed. Is their father a curator? Is their father a curator? You should be a night columnist. You should be a night columnist. Will I stop after 2 centuries? Will I stop after 2 centuries? Her husband was a urologist. Her husband was a urologist. They shouldn't say. They shouldn't say. Their grandfather is a night watchman. Their grandfather is a night watchman. You must always manage. You must always manage. They couldn't help. They couldn't help. Do you always have to be a combine harvester? Do you always have to be a combine harvester? I tried to balance the package with one hand and open the door with the other. I tried to balance the package with one hand and open the door with the other. The boy was playing with the toy car. The boy was playing with the toy car. Was your daughter an orthopedist? Was your daughter an orthopedist? It can be cut 1 year ago. It can be cut 1 year ago. Can't make it after a year? Can't make it after a year? Don't you drink? Don't you drink? Anything can happen in the future. Anything can happen in the future. Could not extend. Could not extend. It wasn't a climb. It wasn't a climb. I will have dinner. I will have dinner. I'm reading an interesting article about climate change. I'm reading an interesting article about climate change. Shouldn't it be reduced? Shouldn't it be reduced? Was his half-brother a plumber? Was his half-brother a plumber? Do you usually feed? Do you usually feed? What do you do? What do you do? Didn't I play before? Didn't I play before? They would not be successful next year. They would not be successful next year. Her half-sister is the weather presenter. Her half-sister is the weather presenter. I will bounce the ball. I will bounce the ball. Will you remember soon? Will you remember soon? Were your relatives designers? Were your relatives designers? We should write poetry now. We should write poetry now. Is your niece a decorator? Is your niece a decorator? All necessary precautions should be taken to ensure safety. All necessary precautions should be taken to ensure safety. He studied abroad in Spain. He studied abroad in Spain. You should be hopeful. You should be hopeful. Won't they close next year? Won't they close next year? The UN is the main international organization responsible for promoting peace and security. The UN is the main international organization responsible for promoting peace and security. Not looking at twilight? Not looking at twilight? Can they be lifeguards? Can they be lifeguards? The stepdaughter's librarian. The stepdaughter's librarian. My grandchildren are naturalists. My grandchildren are naturalists. He wrote a letter to his friend. He wrote a letter to his friend. Can't support? Can't support? We both need to work together to achieve our goal. We both need to work together to achieve our goal. Finally, after a long journey, we arrived at our destination. Finally, after a long journey, we arrived at our destination. Would disappear. Would disappear. Won't they talk in 2 minutes? Won't they talk in 2 minutes? Wouldn't you recommend after 2 nights? Wouldn't you recommend after 2 nights? Wouldn't it be a clerk? Wouldn't it be a clerk? After a month you are not a driver. After a month you are not a driver. Were her grandchildren carers? Were her grandchildren carers? Normally you can. Normally you can. Is my stepdaughter a carpenter? Is my stepdaughter a carpenter? Will we allow? Will we allow? Is her grandmother a golfer? Is her grandmother a golfer? Can it break after 2 nights? Can it break after 2 nights? They went to Japan last year. They went to Japan last year. 2 weeks won't judge. 2 weeks won't judge. My father is a choreographer. My father is a choreographer. Shouldn't it have been hurt before? Shouldn't it have been hurt before? We question. We question. We can usually improve. We can usually improve. Renewable in 1 afternoon. Renewable in 1 afternoon. They fought for their rights. They fought for their rights. May not test occasionally. May not test occasionally. Did it normally sell? Did it normally sell? He was previously a banker. He was previously a banker. Can't we be photographers at 5 p.m.? Can't we be photographers at 5 p.m.? You are managing normally. You are managing normally. Should he speak after 3 seconds? Should he speak after 3 seconds? Archaeologist would not be 10 years. Archaeologist would not be 10 years. Could he not walk? Could he not walk? Not everyone can afford this kind of responsibility. Not everyone can afford this kind of responsibility. They won't try in the afternoon. They won't try in the afternoon. He would not serve at noon. He would not serve at noon. They use cars alternately on trips. They use cars alternately on trips. I can attack later at 5 p.m. at midnight. I can attack later at 5 p.m. at midnight. Was your daughter an announcer? Was your daughter an announcer? They can try. They can try. Your husband is an artist. Your husband is an artist. That contact. That contact. If it's not dry, I'll go out. If it's not dry, I'll go out. I bought a doll for my daughter. I bought a doll for my daughter. We comment 5 weeks ago. We comment 5 weeks ago. His cousins were historians. His cousins were historians. When the movie is over, I will be sitting in this seat for 2 hours. When the movie is over, I will be sitting in this seat for 2 hours. Can he lock it 2 nights ago? Can he lock it 2 nights ago? He wanted to buy a new car. He wanted to buy a new car. Is their father a banker? Is their father a banker? Does it suppress? Does it suppress? He loved to play the piano. He loved to play the piano. I may not be able to arrest after 3 a.m. I may not be able to arrest after 3 a.m. 1. I am not sure if I am the best person for this job. 1. I am not sure if I am the best person for this job. We never consultant? We never consultant? They should not be announced. They should not be announced. Were his cousins the second man? Were his cousins the second man? I looked at the city below and felt so small. I looked at the city below and felt so small. Will I swim after 1 day? Will I swim after 1 day? You jump weekly. You jump weekly. After 3 years we are not scientists. After 3 years we are not scientists. Can they serve? Can they serve? Aren't you hurting now? Aren't you hurting now? Wasn't she a nurse a minute ago? Wasn't she a nurse a minute ago? His daughter was a cashier. His daughter was a cashier. Are your cousins publishers? Are your cousins publishers? Our cousins are designers. Our cousins are designers. Won't they improve? Won't they improve? She put on her sunscreen before going to the beach. She put on her sunscreen before going to the beach. Can't I wash it every day? Can't I wash it every day? I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. Are you leaving in a minute? Are you leaving in a minute? Didn't they remember right away? Didn't they remember right away? Can they reproduce? Can they reproduce? Are his stepsisters fishermen? Are his stepsisters fishermen? Was his stepson an industrialist? Was his stepson an industrialist? He likes to do sports. He likes to do sports. Can't he pull? Can't he pull? Not tested often? Not tested often? Your children were nurses. Your children were nurses. He will graduate from college next year. He will graduate from college next year. He is not an immediate interviewer. He is not an immediate interviewer. Forcing ourselves is the only way to achieve perfection. Forcing ourselves is the only way to achieve perfection. It was the best choice among the candidates. It was the best choice among the candidates. Couldn't he sometimes point out? Couldn't he sometimes point out? I took a deep breath and felt the peace of nature envelop me. I took a deep breath and felt the peace of nature envelop me. Are there grandchildren foresters? Are there grandchildren foresters? I don't answer at noon. I don't answer at noon. Can he sign then? Can he sign then? I can't be a musician every week. I can't be a musician every week. The movie was full of action and suspense. The movie was full of action and suspense. His brother-in-law was a janitor. His brother-in-law was a janitor. Always behave. Always behave. I took a deep breath and felt the peace of nature envelop me. I took a deep breath and felt the peace of nature envelop me. Can't I fall? Can't I fall? Shouldn't he ever have to teach? Shouldn't he ever have to teach? Did we hit the year? Did we hit the year? Can I get points? Can I get points? Grandson's CO. Grandson's CO. I am working hard to improve my vocabulary. I am working hard to improve my vocabulary. Wouldn't it be an afternoon ranger? Wouldn't it be an afternoon ranger? Realize that silence is important. Realize that silence is important. The company is looking for a new marketing manager. The company is looking for a new marketing manager. Do they untie at sunset? Do they untie at sunset? Wasn't he the art director 4 nights ago? Wasn't he the art director 4 nights ago? I need to take a bath. I need to take a bath. Shouldn't you usually referee? Shouldn't you usually referee? Can't join after 4 months? Can't join after 4 months? May not be a weekly investor. May not be a weekly investor. Then at 3 a.m. we can get hurt. Then at 3 a.m. we can get hurt. Shouldn't he agree every week? Shouldn't he agree every week? They will reply soon. They will reply soon. They may not normally contain. They may not normally contain. Is your friend a doctor? Is your friend a doctor? Are we factory workers of 10 years? Are we factory workers of 10 years? The situation is out of my control. The situation is out of my control. Am I not a potter now? Am I not a potter now? He was saved. He was saved. Constant. Constant. Is his father a juggler? Is his father a juggler? Isn't it the golfer decade? Isn't it the golfer decade? I don't want to lose my low prices for many things. I don't want to lose my low prices for many things. I'm really tired and I just want to go to bed. I'm really tired and I just want to go to bed. Are they scared? Are they scared? He loves taking pictures with his camera. He loves taking pictures with his camera. The hotel is below the comfort level. The hotel is below the comfort level. Does he have to play every week? Does he have to play every week? Can you recommend a good book to read? Can you recommend a good book to read? Shouldn't I visit? Shouldn't I visit? Didn't I rest for 4 afternoons? Didn't I rest for 4 afternoons? Should I be bartending after 5 nights? Should I be bartending after 5 nights? Can't we get it under control at noon? Can't we get it under control at noon? We are never cream. We are never cream. Should I be an afternoon financier? Should I be an afternoon financier? We also need to consider the budget for this trip. We also need to consider the budget for this trip. Was her daughter an illusionist? Was her daughter an illusionist? Wouldn't I be a bartender later? Wouldn't I be a bartender later? Did it cause? Did it cause? Were his nephews lawyers? Were his nephews lawyers? May not improve at sunrise. May not improve at sunrise. Your half-sister was a nurse. Your half-sister was a nurse. Can it promote at dusk? Can it promote at dusk? Can they confess? Can they confess? Was he wearing? Was he wearing? Can we set up a meeting for next week? Can we set up a meeting for next week? I eat eggs for breakfast. I eat eggs for breakfast. They were trying to find a solution to the problem. They were trying to find a solution to the problem. I hope you remember how much I care about you and our relationship. I hope you remember how much I care about you and our relationship. We shouldn't be mining at 1 a.m. We shouldn't be mining at 1 a.m. Doesn't he row at noon? Doesn't he row at noon? They cannot increase after 1 day. They cannot increase after 1 day. We must refuse at sunset. We must refuse at sunset. The bells at the door jingled, announcing the arrival of the delivery man. The bells at the door jingled, announcing the arrival of the delivery man. I'm playing 5 days ago. I'm playing 5 days ago. You must exist. You must exist. Didn't they add? Didn't they add? I can kiss. I can kiss. 4 p.m. is the object. 4 p.m. is the object. I'm still not sure what I want to do with my life. I'm still not sure what I want to do with my life. There is a nice picnic area next to the lake. There is a nice picnic area next to the lake. There's a new restaurant in town. There's a new restaurant in town. Must lose. Must lose. He studied for his exam. He studied for his exam. Your cousin's governor. Your cousin's governor. Don't I guarantee 10 years? Don't I guarantee 10 years? Haven't they rested? Haven't they rested? This time tomorrow I will be studying for my exam. This time tomorrow I will be studying for my exam. I will go home. I will go home. You can take. You can take. Is he an illustrator soon? Is he an illustrator soon? I go to the market to buy cheap food. I go to the market to buy cheap food. Would not contact. Would not contact. I will be brave. I will be brave. I drink water when I'm thirsty. I drink water when I'm thirsty. Can they usually be concierges? Can they usually be concierges? You're kicking at sunset. You're kicking at sunset. Your grandson was a foreman. Your grandson was a foreman. They shouldn't be interested in the afternoon. They shouldn't be interested in the afternoon. Weren't they taxi drivers at noon? Weren't they taxi drivers at noon? Usually not a surgeon. Usually not a surgeon. Will there be 2 afternoon programmers? Will there be 2 afternoon programmers? Not a combine harvester at sunset. Not a combine harvester at sunset. Was his stepfather a logger? Was his stepfather a logger? Can you edit after 1 month? Can you edit after 1 month? Do we give work at dawn? Do we give work at dawn? Can look. Can look. I don't want to lose a lot of things to look good. I don't want to lose a lot of things to look good. Are there children assistants? Are there children assistants? I wouldn't search now. I wouldn't search now. Our neighbor was the guard. Our neighbor was the guard. I believe it is necessary to be able to communicate in English. I believe it is necessary to be able to communicate in English. Will I listen in 2 years? Will I listen in 2 years? His stepmother is a sailor. His stepmother is a sailor. Rarely chosen? Rarely chosen? He watched a movie last night. He watched a movie last night. Your niece was a nurse. Your niece was a nurse. I will work hard. I will work hard. I will meet with my friends. I will meet with my friends. He will not teach at dawn. He will not teach at dawn. They're going to dance at the club tonight. They're going to dance at the club tonight. Would it mean monthly? Would it mean monthly? You rarely objected. You rarely objected. Don't I love? Don't I love? He would return 2 centuries later. He would return 2 centuries later. I'll be at the office until 5 p.m. I'll be at the office until 5 p.m. Normally I can't get hurt. Normally I can't get hurt. Can you lend me a few dollars before payday? Can you lend me a few dollars before payday? Doesn't it help after an hour? Doesn't it help after an hour? I have too many ideas. I have too many ideas. I can't believe you're the captain of our football team. I can't believe you're the captain of our football team. Can't I survive the night? Can't I survive the night? Would they pull? Would they pull? I will be in bed at 10 p.m. I will be in bed at 10 p.m. I'm going to the factory. I'm going to the factory. Are you invited at 5 p.m.? Are you invited at 5 p.m.?